But somebody somewhere is saying that's what it is. He's got a Sprite commercial. I never had a Sprite commercial.
Hey, me neither.
It's cold in New York City, cold in New York City, and I still never got a commercial. You know what I'm saying? He did. This tells us paradigm shift. Whether you like it or not, you got to deal with it. Whether you holding on to your old Run DMC shit, your old LL, you know what I'm saying? Licking your lips shit, that's your problem. You got to understand, once new information, this is a ever-changing information stream, evolution. This is for grown folks. You have to be grown enough or grow up enough to understand what this is scientifically.
So you're gonna get into what would be considered Run DMC and
Shit.
what would be considered Lil Wayne now.
I'm getting into what would be considered Motown and Lil Wayne now, if you really want to get down with it. You understand what I'm saying? We need to get this clear, what names are, because we're confused about definitions of shit. Basic definitions of shit. What I am is called an end-time eschatologist. Understand? I deal with eschatology, hidden, spiritual, occult subjects. The word occult just means hidden culture. Has nothing to do with feeling a certain way or worshiping a certain thing. It means you are here to deal with the metaphysical, the hidden. The occult takes it with the idea. It's not in the definition, but it's in the idea that you want a more hands-on, active role in the hidden as opposed to the metaphysical, which is the intellectual explanation of the hidden.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
And the hidden would be?
The hidden would be that which pushes forth this reality that the eyes cannot see. Okay. So therefore, it's called, with a blanket, spiritual. So this is basically interacting spiritually.
Okay.
Interacting spiritually. And you're interacting spiritually with energies, because that's all of these are. When you know the science, you know what your fucking mind is, you know what we've been doing, and you understand what all the symbols and all these practices mean once you wipe away all the fanfare and the ceremonial pageantry of all of this shit, all the dresses, all the beads, all the skulls and all of that, is really to have an interface one-on-one to wield, control, and interface with energy. So how you decide to interface with that energy is your choice, and how that energy, which now has a consciousness, because all you are is an energy and a consciousness in a human body at this moment. Without a human body, it still has that energy still has a consciousness. That energy still has a consciousness. And that particular consciousness interfaces with you and interacts with you the same way you feel something has a personality. And it interacts with you like people. The same way you may go into a crowd of people and you may dominate and take control, while others may go into a crowd of people and get dominated and get control based upon their attitude. Not based upon what they believe in or what is what, just based upon, I believe this person is mightier than me, smarter than me, has more power than me, and so on and so forth. So I believe what they say I should do. I'm better off. I do not have the willpower, the understanding, or I just don't feel in my gut. I can go in and dominate this particular person, this particular situation, this particular job, this particular basketball game. There are others who understand past this. There are others who have been here more lifetimes that have grown up. That things that you may ask them to do by way of initiation have been done through lifetimes and have the recall. I'm one of those motherfuckers. I remember all initiations. I remember going through this. You don't do it twice. I'm grown folks in this. This shit is about genetics. And this shit is about what you understand. Not your ego and what you say, fuck that, and throw this away and that away and don't understand. What I teach is a calling. You can't just wake up and say, I'm going to jump into this or I'm going to jump into that because it sounds good on YouTube today and he made me laugh. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker. You can't do that. That sounds good, but that's like an emotional high. And then someone else comes along and says whatever the fuck they say based upon their belief system, and you go, oh my goodness, this is a contradiction. Now, first and foremost in the occult, one of the first things you learn is it's going to contradict. It must contradict because there's no one way to the path of light. And most ain't even trying to find light. They're trying to find a substitution for a religion that they were already in.
Right, so they're trying to find something to tell them what to do.
To guide them, to tell them what to do, because in their heart, they believe they are or they need to be a child of something. So what better after you stop becoming a child of Jesus, of Mary, Moses, and all the rest of them, become a child of African deities. It makes you feel like you're intelligent, you're home, you learn some African words, you learn some new, you learn to dress different, you learn things and see things you haven't seen before, you've seen them maybe on TV or heard about them, and they look fantastic. Now, here's the real story. If they do look and they feel fantastic to you, then it is just your calling. And there is absolutely, positively nothing wrong with that. That's where you should be. That's what your genetics dictate. That's what your spirit dictates. It's what you should do. But you need to understand there are others here that are past that. It's just none of your business.
Right.
This is grown folks' business. It just really is. You know what I'm saying? I've taught and not just did it from the standpoint of an attack or argument that's weak to me. That's not even in this for me. I've been proving that these are two different things for quite some time. Quite some time. Since the good old days of Miss Blue, we've been talking about this. And what we're really just talking about here is initiation versus the good old gumption for having a one-on-one first-hand relationship with these deities. There's some, and this comes up every once in a while. See, what happens, it comes up, people get stuck on this. Oh yeah, this is wrong. You know, they was doing it with Bobby Hemming. Oh, this is wrong. This is the wrong way. You know, the Africans knew and they knew, and we're the children, and once you do this, you're born the children of the ancestors. Let me tell you, there's no fucking such thing as the ancestors. The ancestors are a bunch of niggas. So you can't do one thing and get a whole bunch of niggas mad at you for the same one fucking thing. It's senseless thought. You understand? There are a bunch of niggas who died. So just like niggas is debating on YouTube, them niggas are different things. So what you're doing is calling ancestors with you for your cause. And there may be ancestors against your cause. But the more power you have on your side, based upon the energy that you're dealing with, the more you prevail. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So we got this idea, the ancestors, like there's a whole bunch of the ancestors, because now all they're really saying is the angels. They just switch one thing for another. The ancestors that we deal with are the ones with us. The system of ancestors was based upon cultures. So we had a culture where we ate, slept, fucked, married, danced, dressed, all the same, where the mentality is a cookie-cutter mentality, and that was done for a reason at a certain time. And initiations was created based upon that culture's psyche. So one initiation wouldn't work for the next man in another culture. His psyche was different. What works for Theo Huxtable doesn't work for Tukey the gangster. You get what I'm saying? They are raised two different things. So the thing that shocks Theo's subconscious into a whole new reality, because that's all initiation is. It's traumatizing you, reprogramming or programming your subconscious mind just so you can have a before and after point. You get to say, well, all the men in my village did this. So they're men, so if I do this, I'm a man. Because there's no before and after that makes you a boy and a man. You know that then. 18, you wasn't ready to go out your mama's house. But the law said, this is the day she can kick you out. You was 21, you wasn't ready to drink, but you did it. Nothing said you were ready but some law.
Right.
With no form of psyche change, which is what an initiation is. So if they say every man has to get his arm broken before he can take a drink, and you really want to drink, and you know all the best niggas in your tribe got their arm broken, they're drinkers, you're going to say, I'm going to face this. And then you're going to go through this intense pain, and in your psyche, you're going to say, I am just as worthy and as good as those men now. But I wasn't before, because I was told all my life, if your arm isn't broke, you're not worthy. That's all that shit is. That's all it is. And then you now in America trying to say, look, if you don't get your arm broke, you're not going to be a priest of Ogun. Now, I get it. Don't think I'm stupid. Certain of this ancient knowledge is held within these groups. And certain initiations these Babalaos will make you go through to give you that information. Granted. And they should. And if you subscribe to the tradition and you want to follow the rules, by all means, you must get initiated. You must not fuck with nothing I do. I am cut from a different cloth. I'm a different thing. You get what I'm saying? And if, let's just say, you heard my information, which is now being classified as another religion, which is the dumbest ass backwards motherfucker, stupidest shit I could think of. You following what I'm saying? Classified now. There's a nigga named Arnez J. He's a comedian. He does that shit. He got retarded brother that's making that sound. Motherfucker. So the DJ used to massage this nigga. You gotta see him. Arnez J on Netflix. He got that stand that he's doing that shit.
Okay.
Motherfucker. You'll lose it. Motherfuckers is classing my shit like a religion and giving these heartfelt speeches now. Oh, all these black people, they come from panic. And now I have to take them in and show them the way. Milk their breast. Motherfucker. This is no religion. That's why I'm going to give it and lay it down what this shit is today.
With this, because back in the day, information wasn't so rampant, right? So let's say when they did have the sacred societies, or the Egyptians had the higher mysteries, right? It wasn't even made available to the masses, and I think there was like levels you had to go through to even be exposed to this information. But now, information's
because we in a different paradigm. That's the whole key. That's the Run DMC versus, or the Motown versus a Lil Wayne type thing now. Back then, I'm sure initiation, the doors closed, but at the same time, they wasn't saying pay me $3,500 and you in. Because that's what's happening now. So even that is from this paradigm. You get what I'm saying? But that's what that is. And let that be that. You know what I'm saying? But that's not where we at in terms of the knowledge base, in terms of how the information has moved and transformed to be fed to us now. We are in the information age. There's no one in their right mind, in my opinion at this point, now I'm gonna give my opinion, that should be holding back information in the information age. Now it's time to say all information is our information, and anyway, oh, the white man is somebody's going ahead, they can't do a damn thing with it. And now it's so much information, the real pristine information that you got hiding, you can put it in their face and niggas won't be able to do it any fucking way.
Right.
The adept will be able to hear that message.
And that's why they respond in the way they do when you present the information, because
Right.
they don't know how to receive it.
Right. They respond the way they do because what they think is the information I'm saying is worthless because it didn't come through the same religious channels. So it becomes what I'm saying seems like I'm just a nigga saying it. No matter the long laundry list of transform, they'll say all them niggas got it wrong. These are misled people. Don't even give people the credit to look, receive information, and use their own mind and say, wait a minute, this speaks to something in me, period. It's the message. It's not even this nigga. It's the message. I always stood on the message that I brought. Not that you need to follow me anywhere. We're going to deal with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because that breeds, oh, I just had to save all the panicked people because they just didn't know, and they're coming back and oh, it's all fucked up. That is a dry way of saying they're following me in the first place, and I'm telling them to do all this free balling shit, and all this shit is happening. I tell you to fucking research. I got hours and hours of books online. I got book lectures. My foundation is the foundation of all this consciousness, this true consciousness, which we're gonna get into this today. True consciousness. You follow what I'm saying? Not this fairy tale on Facebook that this shit has now become. So let's get this under starts. First of all, the word consciousness started in. Sit back for this one. Motherfucker. Yeah. And I guess it was the 70s, might have been some of them books maybe even the 60s, but definitely 70s and early 80s. That's when all those Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, and all those history guys really was on. And guess what? Nobody was following. They were coming really out of the Black Panther movement and the Black Power movement and moving into the Kwanzaa Afrocentric movement. And then within the Kwanzaa Afrocentric movement in the 80s, mid-80s, they started picking up on Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, and all these history brothers who dropped all this, all straighten us out, basically. They became very popular. People wanted to see them speak. So then Tap Video, I can't remember the brother's name, I'm sorry for asking me 2 minutes ago, this came and left. Another sister named Bert, and I'm sure I'm missing Nick, who were the early pioneers of film. So they were the first ones to start putting cameras in front of them, at lectures. Then there were shows like It Is, Dr. Ben and them would come on. And there's where they would debate, but white people, and tear them new ones.
I seen some of those on YouTube.
Right, and some of them are on YouTube. So this was where then a brother named Steve Coakley started popping. And he really brung with this history conspiracy to the game. And in fact, he was the first one to tell us about the boule. Not the gay boule that everyone say, oh, you gotta be gay. Just what the boule was. A black secret society that within the realm of the, what do you call them niggas? College capitals.
The Greeks.
Not the fraternities. In the realm of the Greek fraternities, you would get a knock at the door. And you were specially chosen for this upper echelon of the secret society. And basically, long story short, the agenda, in a nutshell, if we had to visualize it, would be the Bill Cosby Show. A world where black people cause you absolutely no harm and no problems. They fit in and they got theirs now. They're getting theirs, but they fit in with you in such harmony. In other words, no more fight the power, join the power. You know what I'm saying? And this is the way we do it. Sure enough, Bill Cosby was the man. His password on his first black TV show, which Bill Cosby turned into pretty much now a nobody. He was on the club scene, but after he hit the Johnny Carson show, 3 years later, he was a superstar. This is with Push. And he was on one of the first black, if no, they didn't say the first, one of the first black with a major TV show, I Spy. I Spy, when he would get in, he had a password to get into the headquarters. His password was Boulay. Said his mother name was Boulay. So Steve Coakley brought all this information out. He dropped on all these Boulay, out of them all. On some Martin Luther King Jr. and all the rest of them. He was good. As that moved on, Steve kind of petered off. Book was always around. Steve died with the 1 hour watch. You know what I'm saying? On this blue watch, we talked about it. He passed. There was a brother named Javon Bruckner who started writing a magazine called the Ghetto Times. Mind you, this is before the internet. Ghetto Times, and he picked up on the bootleg. In fact, I had a boy, Tefiru, who used to write some articles for the Ghetto Times. And Tefiru's an avid reader of all of those novels, that American Gods, which we're going to talk about a little bit. I'm sure he read the book. This is his lunch. You know, all the Star Wars books, not just what's in the movies, the side shit, you know what I'm saying? He's this nigga. Well, you know, Mace Windu, book 13, used the dark side of the Force. You know, shit. He's that dude. And, you know, all the Harry Potters and all that kind of shit. He read Sophia Stewart way before anyone knew who Sophia Stewart was. And he came to Sophia Stewart and said, you know, you can sue her. He broke her story in the Ghetto Times. Javon Bruckner took over because he's seeing what it was, and everything you know about that today, whether they still rumors or new, is from that point, from them, from my boy Tef, actually.
Nice, I know that.
Now, moving back, on the lecture circuit, there was another brother who came up named Brother Dawu. Now, Brother Dawu was straight black power, and boy oh boy, his followers were there because this Afrocentric movement came up, and the black power movement really had a little bit of Farrakhan, and was probably I don't know what Khalid Muhammad was doing at the time. I don't know if he was about to come up, but it was around the time we started seeing him, perhaps, or maybe a little bit earlier. Remember, Bobby's telling me this time, thorough conversation with Bobby Hemming about his history. You understand? So, either way, they had a voice now, but Dawood used to say words like chakras, kundalini. And he did talk about it. He would say things like, you know, you'll have a kundalini energy in your body that can do anything. You know, if you balance out your chakras. So, it started putting in that lexicon, in that mind, some of these words. Now, while this was happening, Dawood you would probably say at this time was the most. Dawood wouldn't fly.
Dawood would be around what time?
No, all of this is early 90s. Because after the 80s into the 90s, Dr. Clark, good question, Steve Coakley, Dr. Clark. Steve Coakley, 90, 91, 92, right? 93. In 93, Steve Coakley's talking. Before he talks, he heard Bobby Hemming just talking in the background at a lecture. Heard his voice and say, "Oh, what's that stuff you were saying back there about spirit?" He said, "You need to say that in front of people." And had Bobby open up for him.
All right.
So Steve Coakley was the first one to say, "Here you go, Bobby." Put him on. Bobby's first lecture was the Dogon lecture. All right. And then that was starting to take off. Dawood, there's a lecture where Dawood said, "There's a young brother out of South Carolina, or no, out of Atlanta, starting to talk about what I'm talking about, named Robbie Hemming." So he was looking at him as the young brother. So Phil Valentine. Now there was the sister Burt from Buffalo. Now she had more people, but probably most, I don't want to say most famous, but let's just say Dr. Delbert Blair is who she put in front of a camera. I don't know if it was first, but I know he's known for being with Burt and making some famous tapes with her. How much? I don't. What extent? She got Phil to open up for him.
Okay.
Now, the story goes, he didn't like it too much. And, and to this day, he didn't speak to her, and this and that, and this and that, and all of this. Gossip. So let's leave it on the gossip floor. But nevertheless, Phil started with her, and Burt put Phil in a lot of lectures.
Okay.
So I'm told. Now, Phil and Bobby were getting a lot of fire. Phil was really a health practitioner, but would talk about a lot of metaphysical things that he was real passionate about. Bobby, real passionate about history, Dogon, but you would hear the spiritual twinge coming in. The Dogon lived like this, and their huts are like this, and it's spiritual. We've seen it developing, and the problem is Dawu would not go out of the streets. People wanted him all around the country. He was like, never been on that white man's plane. Bobby would. So Bobby became known for all around the country. That's why you see all the tapes. Y'all ain't even seen a big portion of all these tapes, right? Then Phil, he would get around the country, but since he was in New York, which was the epicenter of film shit, it was easier just to bring Phil right across the street, not pay a hotel or an airplane fee, pay him a big fee, and boom. So Phil's work is out of there, all the Matrix and all of that, you know what I'm saying? You'll see a lot of that. So that's where a lot of those tapes started to get built up. Then people started getting tapes like you see from Nell's class, and you'll see it. Then slowly but surely, a tape network started. There was this Daryl and this. Now Bobby, 93. So the tapes were always there. Remember, it was taping since Dr. Clark. So now what you have is people getting sporadic information from tapes, and oh yeah, Dr. Clark and them was harmless, so you couldn't really get it, really didn't, you know what I'm saying? But now there was brothers who was in locations, one in Harlem, I don't know if it was Sonetti, but someone in New York that we can get an outlet for these. So outlets started popping up in major cities. Primarily all the major cities Bobby used to go to. That's where the people who would bring them in would sell a tape. You don't make no money bringing anybody in. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get money on the tape. You know what I'm saying? It's the after sales. Dad told me at first, no, it's the tape. Because I used to make them pay me a big amount to get the master copy, and then they'll start bumping it out and sell it wherever they at. Detroit, Boston, California, Texas, Cincinnati, all the city. So all these cities that was getting these networks, they wanted to bring Bobby in because Bobby was the type of nigga to sit on their couch. He ain't do that in a while. He's the type of nigga, so no hotel. You fly him in, he'll eat with you, he'll chill with you, very humble. So they would say that's a hotel fee less. Bobby would make it real easy for niggas to bring him in. So he banging out lectures. So you see him, he's making crazy amounts of tapes, you know what I'm saying? So now this circuit is building up more and more. Now, here's where I want you to pay attention now that you got back. Now it's well, let me give it to you all, and then I'm going to give you the point of this shit. We're going to go back. So, Bobby said this shit was rolling strong all the way into the year 2000. He said in the year 2000, everybody started talking about Y2K. Nothing happened. The interest for this shit, motherfucker, gone. He said people were just waiting for some event. So that's why
that was actually one thing that helped snap me out of the 2000s. So I was like, let me step back and look at this shit. Like, what's really going on? So that's when I really began to take a more objective look at it.
It was a shift. It was a shift. I can see that. And they had to do something towards that shift. And then you had 9/11 the next year. You know what I'm saying? And we could talk about the many reasons of that, but let's not. Now, so, flop. So, in about 2003, there was a dude named Chris, black guy. Chris was like, oh, I love your Valentine. Greatest. And he's talking to Shabazz said, well, he's in Harlem. He's chilling. He's right here. We can get him to do it right now. We wanted to. So they said, let's do it. Set up shop. Shabazz had his camera. He found the location, or they found the location together. Black Dot was opening the show, and Chris was on the door. Brung brother Phil started recording. Chris loved Phil. He never heard this, and I guess this was the greatest shit ever. He was in the lobby and left the phone. You know. So now, we then, and remember, Chris, that I got the end to that fairy tale that I would like to share. I would like to share about that, which is a good story. A happy ending. So where was I at? So Shabazz says, well, you know, there's plenty of other guys. Bobby Henry's right there around. We can bring him in. Bobby Henry will stay at the house. No, we just want to bring Phil. You know, he's right here. We got to bring him money. He said, but this is about all the information. It was always about all the information. We need to bring other people in. We just can't be one person, no matter how much we like. So Shabazz had that. Like that kind of, if I was telling the story, it's neutral. But he knew business-wise we need to build up funds so we can fly and float these motherfuckers in. So, but Shabazz was bringing them in, and they was going in, Bobby was coming, Dr. Africa was coming in, bringing them. So they sparked it back up, and the network got alive again. 2004 is cracking. I went across the street to buy some porno. I'm on Omar. This nigga across the street with tapes. I said, oh, me and Dane be checking some of the shits out. Another guy I need to mention that was in the game, Oscar Quays. Okay. I don't know how his tapes got in the circuit because he was very careful about his information getting everywhere. And he loved to sell it on his site, which is his game, of course. But I don't know if his tape, I don't think he was too happy about it, but his information was around, and it was like excellent bridge information. He was excellent for, you seen that? Now look at that. You know that? Now look at that. You've seen that before, right? Now look at that. And you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, that's where they got it from. So it is like excellent to wake up minds, to bridge that information, but that's his thing. So he was in it too. You know what I'm saying, in terms of the circuit. And it was just like whenever this information was popping up, a lot of TV documentaries were there too. Shit that was on TV that nobody caught about Angkor Watts, all this ancient shit. So they got this circuit popping about 204 again. Bobby's coming in. It's around the time I met him. I would say to keep the dirty part of it, Sonetta and Shabazz, a lot of friction. Harlem and Brooklyn about selling tapes. Who knows the origin? But who cares? And YouTube came into play, let's just say that. So now it changed the game. So what you would see is the people who are selling tapes, nobody can get it for free now. Now a little bit before free, you can only put 15 minutes on YouTube. So it'd be 1,015 minutes. First it was like 15 minutes to say, go buy the tape, here's the website. Nobody's doing it. Then it'd be 1,015 minutes, then you get a half an hour, and then now you know a whole lesson. And so at the end of that, monetizing. Now most people don't know what monetizing. And when I see that election, I talk about it, people are like, let's get into that shit. YouTube offered me something very early on because my videos were always popping. Monetizing. I said, I don't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Participate and keep my shit quiet as possible. Dr. Lean came over and said, monetize. I said, they offered me, I'm not doing it. They said, what? Almost with a smack. They said, let me see your numbers. Nigga, what? They said, monetize. Niggas is bringing home $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. What do you mean by that? Then when you see the climate, the more you argue.
So this is like what, around 2010?
No, this is now. Oh, we up to now. We up to First originally YouTube coming in shit 2010. That seems ancient. We talking about 2009 and 010 is MySpace, and Facebook is starting to 2010, 11. Facebook, so we there. YouTube is cracking now. 2011. So when I was talking about 15 minutes, that's early YouTube. When we talking monetizing, they offered it to me maybe 2012, maybe 13, maybe. I didn't until 2014 when the radio came over, maybe. And that was maybe actually, so they probably offered it to me 2011 because I knew about it. And they offered it to me a long time before I even got into it. So now we updated. So now we in 2014, Lynn comes over, smack and says, do it, tell me the numbers they give me. Then it makes sense. When you started seeing all these guys, they have more than one YouTube channel. They start, some of them brag that this ain't monetized now because everybody started begging. Oh, you're only doing it for monetizing. You're saying my name in the title. There's a whole business. And I'm going to talk about this in a little bit more detail. Not much, but a little bit more. There's now a whole business of niggas who put in the title conscious niggas' names who are debating and arguing and say they're crooks or they're thieves and they're this. There's something scandalous with their name just for the attention, just for the hits. They're not even conscious. They're not even in it. They just start saying hotel niggas. Look at these hotel niggas. And that's what I'm going to talk about. That's where we're going with this. All of this misinformation, I hope this one video clears up a lot of misinformation about what it is your goal is. At least with me. I don't know what other motherfuckers came to do, but I'm telling you what I came to do. You know what I'm saying? So when you see that, you understand this concept of monetizing. You understand? Now, I'll put up a video a month, what I was doing. I haven't even put up a video for a few months now. But like, if I'm really strong, a video a month or so. And with a video a month for me, we're talking 300, sometimes 400. The most I made is 500 because I don't kill it. Where I'm just doing video after video after video for money. I do videos when they come. Fuck that bullshit. So I'll see the lowest 250 when I'm doing nothing. And I did nothing for a while, so it'll be like that or less. And the most 500. And that was like when there was like 3, 4, 5 videos up that was real popular. Lucy videos. Some videos do better than others. And you gotta remember, I have 10 years damn near worth of videos up. So even doing nothing, somebody's clicking on the button, somebody's watching something. So that's something. So imagine if I'm doing video after video, having wars with niggas, saying this nigga ain't shit, this nigga Obama ain't shit. Let me explain why this nigga ain't shit. Then that nigga do that shit back to me. It's almost like let's do it. You know what I'm saying? What we waiting for? Curse out, be friends, curse out. You friends now with him. Then you cursing him out. Then y'all friends again. Then y'all team up against him. Shit is insane. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Different strokes, different frogs. To each, his own. Right. So here we are today. And every person on Facebook can hear this. And now, when this shit is on the Jerry Springer level, it's attracting more minds that pretend harder that they're there for information, but truly are there for the Jerry Springer antics. The Maury Povich, you ain't the father of moments. But they now pretend they're there for knowledge, and they go under the banner that people have been calling consciousness. Now let's go back now that we understand a little bit of the lineage. When all of this thing was forming, this network was forming, this was the word. First of all, everyone was welcome. No matter what you were into, what you did, everyone was welcome. You were welcome because what everyone professed, what everyone said over and over, repeatedly, all I offer is information. Do with it as you will. Now, I want you to hear that shit and let it reverberate That's what I'm doing, have been doing. That's what I can tell you Bobby's doing and have been doing since we got here, and many others I can go down the list of what true consciousness was. Check. Right, beloved. True consciousness, in fact, because there was no name, no one was willing to call a grouping of like minds looking for information, sitting in the same network. Look, we used to say, yo, when we do this, we're gonna do that. Niggas would check you right there and say, wait a minute, who are we? That was the known thing you would do when somebody slipped and said, well, we're gonna do this and we should be doing that. Who are we? What do you mean we? There's no we here. I'm here to get this. There's no me and you sitting here gonna do anything tomorrow.
Right. We're not an organization.
Not an organization, not a group, and that's not a preacher. And this is not a religion. You get what I'm saying? There's no such thing as a hotep nigga in this world. Facebook, you got that. Hotep niggas all day. But in this particular situation, for lack of a better word, we will call conscious people. Well, what are you? I guess we're conscious because we're awake. It doesn't mean you have knowledge. It doesn't mean you know a certain set of shit. It doesn't mean you have a belief system. And what I'm being classified now wrongly as if this here thing is a belief system. This is knowledge of self. Know thyself. I speak on self. I speak on your mind and your divine birthright. I don't speak on tradition. I don't speak on how we should do it or how we used to do it or what the fuck we are, because we ain't shit. You ain't shit until you enlighten. I deal with light minds. If I'm gonna be a we, it's enlightened motherfuckers. It's enlightened motherfuckers. I'm not dealing with a whole bunch of niggas talking about there's a we and a us, and we say hotep, and we are the ones who are conscious. Fuck you dead niggas. Wake the fuck up and read a fucking book. That's always been my motto. Let's clarify this shit. Go back in the archives. I'm the first nigga in 2009 to say, fuck you hotep niggas. That's documented. Ain't no hotep niggas here. I've been telling niggas, cut that bullshit out. The first nigga to say that. I made that shit unpopular. I made the word check unpopular. I used to say if there's no we, why we all saying check? That's another way of saying hallelujah. That's my word is born. We used to yell that shit. Y'all niggas is saying hallelujah. Say it. I'd never say check, hotep, beloved, none of that crap. I thought all of those words made you a we. And that was the fucking no-no here. You ain't never heard me go, we gonna do this and we need to do that. And if you heard that, it's in a context. My overall has-been message is you need to do this for yourself. Whatever this is, whatever I'm saying by way of information and what it means to you, it's what it means to you. I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't give a fuck if you believe me. Don't fucking listen. This shit is free. It's on YouTube. Pay me no fucking mind. It's free. Motherfucker.
So, I mean, it sounds like the folks that are doing that, or number one, as you addressed earlier, they're not at the level of consciousness or the ability to
It's just simple as that. And now, there you go. They're not at this level of freedom in their own mind. You understand? We're just talking about simply the confusion in their own mind. Not matching wits with philosophies. That's beneath me. Because whatever your philosophy is, I believe it's right. I just told you one of the first understandings in occult science is conflict. Because there are many paths to life. If you are finding life through your path, peace be unto you, right? Do your thing. But you need to understand, stay out of grown folks' business and stop what you don't understand. This is not your level of understanding. This is the level of you came to terms, looked at yourself and say, what am I? and then you said, I'm God. You have to get to a level of realization through lifetimes of what's God, what's God. Maybe Oshun is God. Maybe Muhammad is God. Maybe Jehovah's God. Maybe Yahweh's God. Maybe God, damn Dr. York is God. Maybe Bobby Hemmitt's God. Oh, wait a minute. I've been looking all around and I'm God. That's a level of alchemy, son. It's just as simple as that. There's no mystery to this. You, and me. My message is for those who hear a frequency, player. It ain't to try to win someone over. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to sell this once you get in. You know, welcome, beloved, to Shangri-La. It's all over here. Ain't nothing over here but a fucking book of information and the same nigga that started. You reading it, and for you to see if it reverberates with you enough to transform your consciousness into the next level as you deem fit. I'm not here to oversee what you become. You butterfly and blossom into whatever the fuck that may be. When we all at that place, see ya at the top, player. But until then, nigga, you doing work down here. And if you feel your work is bowing down to something that you believe lives in the sky, then that's you. See, I'm gonna be nice on this one. You know what I'm saying? Because I get 1,000 women who tell me 1,000 dreams, and 100 of them tell me they were allowed to brush your shoes here. How much hair this bitch got? You know what I'm saying? It's your psyche, and what you're really seeing is you feel this is who you are. You either feel you a brain surgeon or a janitor, and you pick up a broom or you pick up a fucking scalpel, player. You understand? That's what we doing here. I'm sorry, I decided to pick up a scalpel. My shit is intricate. And I hate to, if you're picking up another scalpel, then be a heart surgeon. If pushing a broom ain't your style. If that's too low for you, pick up another scalpel and you just be a heart surgeon. Call it as thou wilt. But you need to understand, this is different shit here. This is not a comparison. You can't compare me to your mind. Your mind is a religious system. Before you even have an argument with me, I can step out, because I don't damn sure it's too petty to argue with, and evaluate your psyche, player. That's what you do here. And your psyche is of a religious motif. A motif means pattern. Means everything you get new must fit into your pattern. See, everything I get new reforms me if it's new. You understand? That's the alchemical or the alchemy mind. Everything the religious motif mind gets, it has to be bent and shaped into what it is he knows or she knows. You understand? Your psyche is twisted. So you even got me twisted, so what you hear is still, I can say this clear as day, and still someone will get the wrong message because they will hear it and bend it and shape it into what they know. They're not here to learn. They're here to argue. So they're here to look at every flaw and every hole to be able to have something to say. That's what crabs, it's not deep, it's crabs in the barrel syndrome.
Right. Ego mechanism.
Right, it's not even deep. It's not even like you have to get deep on this. It's just regular nigga, fuck that. I need attention now. What I mentioned needs attention. It's not getting enough. And it really ain't. It's not getting enough.
Crazy.
Where we from, people free themselves from this shit. You understand what I'm saying? Where we from, we get hordes and hordes. Before I even came, a motherfucker sitting next to me, you said, yeah, I was in that shit. I had to get out. It was draining me dry. All I did was serve, while they keep telling and holding this carrot in front of me, talking about I'm going to the next level, but you got to do that. Right. So it was always this next level, you understand what I'm saying, that's hidden from you. And when you get there, that's it?
Exactly.
That's it? That's it? But there's always somebody doing this shit. Not yet, son. Not yet.
Wait till you get to
wait till you get to so-and-so. Then you'll know.
Right.
Then you'll know.
How does Chris fit in with this?
Right. So years later, Chris got initiated into power. Now, when I seen that, because of how Chris was, he spent a lot of time in the lobby within the group. And then when there was no group in consciousness, there was always this we thing happening. Or the strong need to express there was no we, which means there was a we. Or the feeling of the need for a we. Perhaps. Like I said, Chris is a cool guy. I'm not trying to judge him. And later he gets initiated into the problems. And when I heard and seen that, I said, that's perfect for him. That's the next level for his spirit. You understand what I'm saying? That to me was excellent. I said, he's a dude that needs to go through the system. You know what I'm saying? He needs a tradition base, a people base for him to flourish while learning perhaps something that is the next level for him. And I believe it was, and I believe he's still in it. Then so much so, he tried to bring his boss, and his boss came with this argument of the importance of initiation. This was coming up again. It always comes up, and people kind of go to it, then see what it is, and you know what I'm saying? I just left. They don't know. It's enticing. It seems like you're safe. See, when they hear me, they hear something that's dangerous. You get what I'm saying? And even though Bobby did all his work really demystifying all of this hidden shit, and then we're laughing and giggling and motherfuckers get unscared, but there's still that motif of the devil. The devil is you're doing something bad or something wrong. They don't have no faith in them. All our work is trying to build up in their mind. You need to have faith in yourself. You need to figure this out for yourself. There's no training wheels. You gotta man up. You gotta woman up. Tighten up your pussy and face yourself and challenge yourself. Face your own demons. So it's easy when you say, your life's gonna be fucked up. You ain't even gotta say nothing. If you say, all you gotta do is say, I've been looking at what my parents' work, it's interesting, something about it, and I used to think that way, which is what most people say. All you have to do is go, brother, panic, and you can have a nigga right back where you started. Without words. You understand? Without words. Brother, panic. Fear. Because the fear factor, which is the white man's programming tool, is dominant. That's everything. That's the real work. Right. Bobby's trying to get past the fear. You know what I'm saying? When the ghetto shaman came on the show, the spirit jumped off me and jumped on my mother. I'm like, this is just something you don't understand, and if you don't understand energy, you will get fucked up. I urge you to understand anything. Like anything. Before you open a bag of potato chips, understand what kind of potato chips you eat. There's nothing you should open, put in your mouth, eat, or dive into without knowing what the fuck it is, including this. So this idea of you walking in doing stuff in all ignorance is not here. I urge and speak and point to all information all day. You need to study information before you do anything. Anything. My methodologies are meditations. Hard meditations, and go study and then figure your own shit out for you. Figure your own shit out for you. So first, the happy ending for Chris is he needs this, and there's certain people who do need that. So if I've not been clear enough that there are people who need that, should do that, and that's fine for them. Right. But we need to understand, we don't cross paths in this. This is not this thing versus that thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if we were to test them both, stick them against the wall, your thing is that same old thing, just with new names. You understand? Just with new names and calling it African. And that's just real talk. You know what I'm saying? That's what we won't even talk about. You niggas ain't African here, and it doesn't even match your psyche. You know what I'm saying? So I would be more impressed if you had new initiations, and maybe they do. Who knows? New initiations for new niggas. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they do. I don't know. I do, but I'm trying to pretend that this shit is that serious. And
so, with the consciousness that you're talking about, which is basically not the evolved consciousness versus the old, does the old miss the fact that there should be an inner exploration of their own mind, understanding the subconscious mind.
Well, if you look at the old, and let's just for now call it old and new, I don't think it's really that black and white, because there's just times where we're here. This you can say Run DMC versus Lil Wayne is old and new, but you could also say it's evolution. You know what I'm saying as well. And then you can go to the mall and still see a nigga dressing like Run DMC though. So we say look at that old nigga. Sometimes we say look at that fly ass nigga. You just never know. It depends on the mood and how he's holding it. You know what I'm saying?
80s is back.
But no, see, they're back as a throwback, but not as a day-to-day, which is what I'm talking about. Okay. So I want to get the definition back. When that 70s comes back, it all comes back in some sort of way. Like this shit is coming back to talk about it now, and it all, you know what I mean? It all comes back because there's always going to be someone to fly a flag for something. You get what I'm saying? But now, if you clear your mind, which is what this was about, and you say, I'm here to get this information and let it take me wherever it takes me. Even if it takes me back to the church and I'm sitting in the pew, I'm willing to go there. You have to really first undress yourself. Look, I'm really, I just want to know. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason I want to know is to know. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole different.
Yeah. I don't want to know to tell anybody off. I don't want to know to show panic is wrong and that bullshit about tennis we talk about all these shares is wrong. I don't want to know so I can feel better than my church friend. I want to know just because I want to know. Let it take me. And then that's becoming, and there's more to that. I actually teach it in my class of how to become pure of heart. Meaning you will absorb this information with your heart, which is your true brain, and your spirit, instead of your intellect. Saying some African words as if you're dropping knowledge. The Nganga and all that shit. You're like, oh, he knows how to say an African word. He must know something I don't know. Now, this pure of heart mindset allows you to absorb and allows you to become. You know what I'm saying? You start to become and access the information, which is information in your DNA already. This is information that you went through in lifetimes. You did that. Do you understand? We did that. We did the whole initiation systems, and when we were doing it, that was it. That we did initiate into this and became the gods. That was it. The Egyptians taught that the beloved dead becomes all of the gods. What is that? What is that? And like I've seen them classify me as a comedic scientist. Fuck Egypt. I'm not stuck there, nigga. Not how much shit I do. I wouldn't classify myself as that. I seen somebody saying I said spirits can't materialize in front of you. I told plenty of stories. My grandfather standing in front of me, massaging my head, Egyptian deities standing over me. This is poppycock. Yes, you can see them with all five senses. I gave out books, cyclomancy. I sell cyclomancy where they teach you how to make all five senses. I wrote it in my book. How to make all five senses, from the pioneer of the 72 chakras, the demonic and the angelic, to spread them to all five senses to make them super senses. They have super clairvoyance, clear audience, clear vision, clear this, clear this. That's stupid. That's 101. Oh, Panic said, he'd never seen no spirit and you can't do that. Are you crazy? That's baby steps. I've been telling them, look, don't come here no more, motherfuckers. They walk all around my fucking house. Look at that motherfucker. You seen that motherfucker? That motherfucker. That's so stupid. It's so misinformed. You understand what I'm saying? So misinformed. See, now that I have so much information out, niggas can't possibly listen to all this shit and get it all. I can tell by just not only the questions I'm getting, the fact that anyone's sending any questions in the fucking first place. That's what I don't answer no questions. That was my motto. I don't answer your questions because I'm not your preacher and I'm not your spiritual guide. You're going to have to find your own spirit and do what it tells you, even if it leads you wherever back to initiation of church, because that's the best your spirit got for you in this life. That's what I said. That's your motto. That's my motherfucking motto. Patty, could you answer the question? No. Find it yourself. And if the question is interesting enough to me, I'll tell them what book they can read and come up with their own answers. I do not answer it for you. I'm not your teacher. I'm not your spiritual guide. I'm your teacher. And really, I'm your teacher. I'm really just your lecturer. I'm your teacher. You took my class. Because classes is a whole different monster. Some learning. We're learning about the psyche and how it works. What magic is, where it's generated from, what's the mindset and the energy, and how you find it in you. It's in everyone. There's no one worse or no one better than your ass down here. Only what you make yourself. Because it's not down here where it counts. And if all you've practiced to be is a servant to something that's invisible, when you have no body, what do you think you're qualified for then? Otep, beloved. Check. What do you think you're qualified for? If you practice nothing here but being a servant, if you practice nothing here but being a God, when you leave and have no body, what do you think you're qualified for? You still retain your divine mind. Or are you really going to still tell me there's somebody up there said, no, 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 you wasn't initiated. Damn you to hell. What does that sound like? It sounds like everything niggas are even listening to this for, or used to listen to this for. Before, this was an alternative and an escape. Now all of this information is a fucking anchor. It used to be, wow, I'm glad I found y'all. Now it's like, yo, son, I'm glad I found this bullshit. To laugh at professor deep niggas who's deep to themselves. Not teaching nobody, but very profound and deep to themselves. Genius motherfuckers, but deep to themselves.
Right, pretty much set up to, I call it salted to develop their own little cult or
Let me
their own following. Yeah.
Say it again, brother.
I said a lot of when it comes from that perspective, like y'all need to listen to me, y'all need to follow me, y'all need these type of things. It's set up for that person's own ego trip.
Well, it's no one's, because of how this thing was originally set up, you don't really hear nobody saying that straight out. But everything else speaks to that. You understand? If you're saying you can't do it but this way, or else everything else is wrong, what are you really saying, son?
Right.
So you're saying it from the flip side. You can't be nothing unless you do what I got. And then you have someone outwardly speaking, no, you can just do it. You don't need nothing but your mind and your study and your spirit, and blah, 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 blah. Just do it. And that's going to hurt anybody who's, even if they don't have an agenda, you understand, they still went through all of that bullshit, and how dare somebody else just get a freebie? I did all the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? It hurts on many levels. And then it hurts their religious morality. Because that's really what you're talking about. Because let's follow this thing through. Are there spirits living in the sky? I have a book here, this thick, called Dictionary of Ancient Deities. Look how small the print is. That's deity after deity after deity all over the world and their attributes. Where's the other one? Oh, it's holding up the skull. It's just as big. This one is Dictionary of Ancient Deities by Patricia Turner, Charles Russell Coulter, Coulter. People have it. And this one is Encyclopedia of Spirits by Judica Ilks, Judikailles. The Ultimate Guide to the Magic of Fairies, Ghosts, Demons, Goblins, Genies, and Goddesses. which is just as thick, holding up our skulls today. And it's an unending list of deities in existence. For us to be stuck on one group or two groups is folly within itself. To even put me stuck on just a few of these deities is silly within itself. I fuck with incredible amounts of long list of shit. I only say the shit that's popular so motherfuckers can catch on perhaps. You understand? An incredible amount of shit. We get deities that come to us, new deities, new energies, with names that are only given to us to put in true work.
So when you said that all this information is reflecting the DNA, what is that? What does that mean?
Well, the DNA is nothing more than a record keeper, Akashic Records. So your DNA, there's the cosmic aspect of it, there's different levels. Just like there's different levels of you. There's the physical that's attached to your family, your relatives. And before we get all into that, because we started talking about relatives and ancestors, I want to finish that point. Okay? And let me make this clear. Let's say we are in Mali and we're the Dogon tribe. We're in a culture in Africa. We live the same, our huts are the same, we eat, bury the people the same, harvest our food the same, dance the same, marry the same, fuck the same, have babies the same. You name it, we've been doing this shit the same way for generation after generation after generation after generation. You got great grandmothers getting water by the well or by the creek, and your great granddaughter doing the same shit in the same outfit by the same motherfucking creek. Now, here's the key. The shamans of that time understood the burying rites and the mythology. The people's minds, would say, this is our definition of heaven, which was uniformed within that culture and within the deities they served. It's a circle. So when they die, their spirits live in the astral world encompassed in that same energy field in that particular place. Whereas the shamans knew how to access all of those people who ran through the culture because they locked the spirits down. Understand, the soul and the spirit, two different things. So the soul is not trapped. The soul can move on to the afterlife, or the soul could come in another body, or the soul can stay there. The soul is the only thing real about you. You have your body, your spirit, your soul. Your body never leaves Earth. Your spirit goes to the astral world and Earth. The astral world is not the end game. The real world is after the astral world. Astral world is a part of this dream. And when you dream every night, that's where you go. The spirit goes into the dream world, comes back down into your body, and you're animated again. And it goes off. It has to go to the astral world. When you die, the cord is cut and it lives there. But since your mind has the idea of where you go as a young Dogon man, you're going to shoot your energy or your spirit to this home place. And it's going to be your imaginative rendition that you had on Earth. Well, I always imagined it was red and had this and had this. There you have it. I always imagined it was blue. Well, there you have it. So their energy now is building up under one same mindset, whereas the shamans can now say, let's ask the ancestors. Because now you have generation after generation of like minds in the astral world, in the afterlife astral world, not the end game, together as an information database. Look at it as a computer. We create the culture, and then when we die, we upload our information to the cloud, nigga. And this is our spot in the cloud. Call it ancestors. You fucking corny niggas don't even know basic shit. So they are able to say the Dogon, the ancestors. Now your fucking uncle on crack, this nigga got cremated, one nigga you ain't even know if he dead yet. They ain't found your aunt yet. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was Christian. One nigga turned Muslim.
Right, all across the board.
All across the board. Their mindset and what they see their afterlife and where they shoot their energies all over the place. So you no longer in a position because you're not in a culture that's uniform anymore. You are not in Africa anymore, nigga. You was in America now. Remember when Fiddler said that to Toby? Look here, nigga. You was in America now. America. You ain't in Africa no more, nigga. This is America. The mindset is different. So you're really dealing with your dead relatives. See, for instance, Khadijah's father came to me, healed me instantly when he was dealing with something. Not that, oh, I'm getting better. I was like this, and that nigga said like this. He told me all about his daughter. He said, watch your money go up because I'm going to take care of my daughter. She doesn't have to pay half the shit. Since then, she has it. And he's been coming through like a food stamp chain. You know what I'm saying? So his altar's here. So he's an ancestor that's on our side, and we fuck with it. When my pops died, he said, I'm gonna come right here. This nigga was the most lecturous nigga ever. And he died in the middle of my first lecture. I did a first 3-part lecture. He died in the middle of the second one, third one, boom, 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 boom. And after that, boom, I'm working with him. My grandmother comes with my boy KL. He was the money nigga. He was always thinking of ways to get money. He was a rap nigga. He came through and said, hey, remember that herb pack you used to smoke? Go ahead and sell it. Man, niggas ain't going. Niggas, that's going to fail. Did it. 10 years later, now, he's somebody I work with. Lou's somebody I work with. My stepbrother, Pumpkin, is somebody I work with. My grandfathers, of course, all of them niggas. My aunt, Kala Akbu, you know what I'm saying? Ill Will, the one you heard about God Wise, you know what I'm saying? My nigga Drawers, you know what I'm saying? My nigga Pappy, you know what I'm saying? My sister Annette, you know what I'm saying? C. Freemanell. C. Freemanell went to the guard runs. Lil Fuzzy, you know what I'm saying? All these little dead homies. I fuck with them directly, so those are the ancestors that I fuck with. So they ain't mad at the shit I'm doing, they with the shit I'm doing. You get what I'm saying? Because just like niggas have different attitudes, if you're just saying the ancestors, is too generic today. We don't have that same system to just generically say that. We don't have that big posse up there that we can say, I don't know where it's coming from no more, but somebody told me how to plant this fucking corn today. You understand? I don't know where it's coming from, but somebody told me how to separate goddamn buckets, water and pee. So the ancestors told me. It became more generic because you had generations you can call on. Now unless you come to a spiritual level in your transformation, you ain't really reaching up to generations. Niggas can't even talk to their dead grandmother. Penny, my grandmother, my mom just died. How do I talk to her? You talking about the ancestors are mad at you? If you can't talk to them and they just mad at you because you fucking with your fucking birthright. Everybody in the world trying to fuck with this, but you. We can't do that shit. It's gonna fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? This shit looking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker. So we need to understand quite simply, this shit is about information and you are still in control of anything I say. Just don't do it. Nothing I say is for you to believe. It's for you to either try, read, and study, investigate for yourself. See how you feel. Not what Panic said, then you go to somebody else and say, well, what do you say? He's going to say something different on the matter. He's from a different place in his consciousness. And this is, even though I joke and play, and I joke and play on all of this shit, there's really nothing wrong with it. If that's where you at, like I said with Chris, I thought it was like a blessing. You know what I'm saying? When he got into, I said, that for him is the next level. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I could see he was calm, he was content, he was confident. You know what I'm saying? He was, not just to talk about my man, because he is my man. He was connected, but not really connected. He was like, you could tell he wasn't fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? And Dr. Jewel Popham told us that people operate some from different levels of the mind. different circuits of the mind. And she talks about the B brain, people who operate better in a group like these. And there's nothing wrong with the B, they just work in harmony with others. And that's where they shine. You understand? Something's thirsty in here. We can knock it off the rest. So, I'm going to show y'all something. This book here, get this history, understanding of all this weirdo shit. This is the book. No one can forget what they all talking about. This is the Pablo Miami book by Carlos Montenegro. They try to make it belittle us. And you can belittle it all you want. We don't hold this. This is not a... Like, they even talked about the book, like, that book. And I'm sitting there like, it's not like a Bible, nigga. I got 1,000 books.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This shit ain't nothing to me, dog. This is nothing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't scared of none of this shit. You need to see that. We equal to this. We are this. Get what I'm saying? I just rub my dick on my dick. I know you don't take this book now.
I already got mine.
There you go. There you go. See, this doesn't bother us because it's not something in the sky that's going, oh, no, don't you nigga just rubbed it on my dick. It's a fucking book. And those are fucking definitions of energies that's from your fucking own mind. In this book, let me show you how folly this is. Let me show you what they first came to me. Paulo, and when they made this book, they I don't know if it was immediately, but they took it off the shelves. And this ain't the first time that there was hate on it. You go on Amazon right now, read the comments. A long list. That motherfucker, son of a bitch. How dare he? This old dirty, funky ass Carlos Montenegro. Now I need this shit. When I seen that, that means you must get it immediately. Whatever offends niggas and motherfuckers, you go and get it.
Yep.
That is the humanity in them. That's a cue. When they scared, they tell you, whatever niggas tell you can't do, you go and do it. That's if you up to the task. If you're not, do not tread. So when you first get it, you know, and the first nigga started emailing me on MySpace, and the MySpace did, oh, don't fuck with Carlos Montenegro, don't get this shit. Because he's gonna fuck you up, he had to fuck you. And it's the same thing. I had to fix all the people that he fucked up.
You know where I used to hear that back in the late 90s when the Matrix series was being released by Dalvin Mary.
Right, okay.
And niggas used to be like, yeah, don't use that book. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, now I really got to read it. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
a system.
What could it be?
It's the same system of fucking fear. It's the same system of religious stuckitude. You know what I'm saying? Don't. Niggas say you don't do it. That's what niggas in this. That's another thing niggas say. Like niggas say, there's no we. Stop saying we. Like I said, consciousness in that name came from. There was just no. This was really more of a description, not what you even called yourself. It was a description of how you would say, is he conscious or is he dead? Because who you dealing with? Just a human nigga, or is he conscious? Another way of saying he's awoke. Doesn't mean he knows this, or he's into this, or he knows what I know, or he's dealing with this, or none of that. It just means he knows something's wrong, and he's here to try to find out. So he listens to Phil and Bobby and this one and that one and this one to try to find out what it is for him that satisfies him. You understand? That's all that shit meant. So it was a description of a nigga sitting in the audience with you with a like mind. And the only like in your mind was you wanted to know. The end. I just want to know. Why you sitting there? Because I want to know. Why you sitting there? Because I want to know. And then, you know, of course, well, I learned this, I learned that. Well, I learned, you know, white chickens ain't real chickens. Really? You ever see a brown chicken? Yeah, those are real. Oh, shit. You know the black and white cow? What? Those ain't real cows. Oh, shit. You ever see a brown cow? Yeah. Those are all clones. I'm like, you know, shit like that. It was just everybody would share this information. That didn't make you religious or anything or anything. It was just what you knew, you knew. And it was a network of sharing. That network got bigger and diluted on Facebook to hotel. And a bunch of motherfuckers, a couple motherfuckers take my class and don't know shit. Still fucking around trying to send me links. Look what I found talking about this and that. Get the fuck away from me. Go away, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's cute you play on Facebook, but it's not enough. What was you just about to talk about?
Before that, you ventured off into your ancestors when I asked about information.
No, we went to the past. Well, DNA. Okay. Oh, so yeah, no, you're right. DNA is just a record keeper. And there's physical DNA and there's cosmic. You're adding all this information to cosmic DNA, or if you're doing human shit, you're adapting to physical. You're making life better for the son, but you can't even do that a lot of times when you have a child, you give them offspring, and you passing the ball, you're pretty much saying, I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? When I die, my son's going to avenge me if you teach him the right path. Or it's just going to be your passion on passing it on. Physical DNA, physical information, physical gene information coming together, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's not what we're talking about. When you do the heart thing, and you read from here, and you're transforming, you're soaking this information up in the DNA. A lot of it, because we went through so much of it, is actually activating shit in the DNA. The new information
It's like unlocking.
is unlocking, check it out now, I want you to hear. It's unlocking what's already there. But the secret science is, it was always there. The same way they go dark, you could always go dark. Like the same way we know Prince Akeem can always go back to Zamunda. What we're doing is we're closing it off, locking it up, and opening it up down here, and the new adventure on planet Earth with us opening it up is the new story. This right here, right now, is the new story. Us getting this information is just us walking back home. You get what I'm saying? The story is how we walk and the path we walk under these circumstances called planet Earth.
In this time of that also regardless.
No, our whole time on Earth. In this time, here's where we at on our pathway back home. Back in Africa, we was at a certain level of stepping back to that path.
So, my experience going through this whole time, I got this information, right? Different experience than my great grandfather. You know what I'm saying? In the late 1800s, you know what I'm saying? Early 1900s, he didn't have access to the his experience was different. And so
He's in a different.
right.
So it's that. It's that. He's in a different paradigm, so therefore the rules are different. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna go in this time and pick yourself. That would be blasphemous. That would be like, what the fuck are you doing? How do you do that? What are you? Where'd you get that from? The devil? Magic? Who the fuck are you? You got a cell phone?
What is a cell phone?
What is a cell? You understand what I'm saying? So what is a corner from? You know what I'm saying? For that fucking matter. And the point is, what they don't fear, what you don't understand. It's simple as that. So if I'm gonna stand there and tell you, don't do that because you don't understand it, no matter how much it's explained, what you really taking advantage of the people who don't understand what I'm teaching, people who don't understand what I'm lecturing about, and they haven't got their own footing in this information. So they're looking at me and seeing all of this, going, what is this, what does that mean? Skull just means skill. This is a symbol of your own mind. Every skull around you. Nothing scary. You have a skull up here. Ain't none of you scared of a skull about it. But you see skulls and you think, this is some sinister shit. You get what I'm saying? Skull just means skill. And this is, so you see these dark figures, like La Santísima Muerte, all of these, Baron Samdi's with the skull or holding up a skull is representing, this dark woman is bringing you skill. It's all secret messages that get into this shit. This is what it is. Your knowledge is through death. The word death is dark, the Hebrew word, and that means knowledge. So when you see these objects of death, what you're really talking about is hidden knowledge. Hidden knowledge that's yours, not cultural or traditional knowledge. This is straight knowledge of self. And you could just, this knowledge is yours and free as long as your DNA is up to the task. Meaning if you tap into your cosmic DNA and you're not dealing on your human technology alone. If I was dealing with human technology, this would tell me, oh, this is creepy. You understand? And even though I go a little bit further, if I'm still saying, don't do that, you gonna fuck you up. Still on human technology. You understand? See, what's not understood is what this always was. What this always was a call out to gods. Yeah. This is either you dealing with gods or you dealing with humans. That's the line in the sand. So I'm talking to gods. You understand? I'm talking to goddesses. If you feel that calling, you're in the right place. If you feel a human need to be supervised, none of what I say is for you. You're not ready. And I accept that. I'm not trying to initiate you into something that you are not ready for. As simple as that. Sorry,
Yeah. When you said that, it made me think to this, the skull, understand that means skill, that level of consciousness, right? When was that, in the evolution, when was that one of those breakthroughs taking place with basically the understanding of the skull, what we consider the dark side? When did that happen?
Well, it never really left. It just gets more and more hidden as people become more and more human. So Egypt was even in the decline at that time. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. So that was to us. That was a miracle shit. So the more and more people decline, the more and more this information became hidden in the DNA. So there's still books, and really, what Bobby talked about, white people did so much to find out our ancient secrets, which we had hidden from them, because that was the time, and the initiation of the time, and going through rites of passage was the time, and there was preparation, and all this shit was the time. So it was hidden. And that I can't really say it was hidden from niggas. It just maybe you were able to tell when somebody was ready based upon their DNA. Because what other system could they use? For saying you but not you, you but not you. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's not a money system. You understand what I'm saying? Especially I heard they were bartering it. So you couldn't barter your way in. Something about you had to say you're ready to be an initiate. You understand? So if I was to say what that was in the day, it would be no more than the people who sit in front of me and say, I hear this. People tell me, I remember this. I dream about this. I had dreams about you saying this to me. I seen you a long time ago. When you said that, I heard these words before. My grandmother used to say it. But when I'm hearing this, I'm hearing spiritual communication. This is not made up. And so that calling would tell me that's the initiation system. If you want to say what's the initiation system today and what we're using, what I'm using, that would be it. Because people would have to say themselves, I'm ready. Because that's really all it takes. Because I can say it, everything I'm saying to you now, and everything I've said to you today, will still be somehow misconstrued by those who ain't ready. Right? Because they just simply can't hear it. So if I bring you into the Egyptian mystery system and said, here's everything, and your DNA, your spirit isn't ready, you're gonna go, okay, wow, that's fine. But what you start questioning it. But I don't get that. What does that mean? And why are you doing that? What does a skull mean? So when somebody says, son, the ancient meaning of skull is skill, and you go, damn, that sounds obvious. That's the initiation system, you understand? Because you gotta look up what see, don't get it confused with ceremonial initiation. Where I cut you, make you lay down, go, hey, wait, go winga, 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 winga. Oh, nigga. You like, I guess it's happening. I guess it's happening. You know what I'm saying? I guess they did it. Cut the top of your head, can't touch a nigga for a year. Can't look in the mirror for a year. Wearing white for a year. Oh, ain't God, so you know. Oh, wait, I guess I'm in. You know what I'm saying? I would have to say, what would you judge the initiate on? It would only have to be what we would do it now. He steps up and knocks on that door and said, let me in. They show you in movies all the time. They show you in Doctor Strange. He knocked on the door, let me in. They made him sit outside all the time. They showed it in Game of Thrones. The girl knocking on the door. She wanted to be the no-face, remember? Let me in, let me in, let me in. She's hungry, the busy bee. Fine, you may enter and know the secrets. They're showing you what it is. Because there's no money system. So they're telling you what? That hungry, busy bee is going to get that honey. You understand? Mm-hmm. So in this day and age, all you have to have a nigga that is aggressively, I can't stop putting this shit down. I can't stop looking at lectures. I can't stop doing this. I can't stop doing that. Well, you know you got to read that. You know you should do that before you do that. Fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm trying. I'm going to meditate. Well, I need to go back to the drawing board. Mm-hmm. I seen you take my class. Well, I got it. Next year you sat through my class with Uche and said, I thought I had it, and now there's more. Yep. That tells me that somebody in his heart can be honest and not coming from here in his ego saying, fuck it, I understand. It's like, there's always more. You heard the same information, just spent a different way. That's somebody who's saying, he's worthy of me sitting there even wasting my breath on him. He gets it. He's got to be the initiate. Who else would be? Some nigga, who else would be? But the dude that's sitting in front of me going, humble heart. Come on now. We gotta use just regular common sense sometimes. Regular common sense. I know it and I can feel it and it feels right, common, and exact to death. And when others hear it, they can hear that right, exact to death message because that's the initiation system, or the true initiation system. Mm-hmm. And the other initiation, if you're born in the culture, then you should be initiated because you chose to be born in that culture for a reason. So you said, because we think we're just being born here too, that somebody else put us here. That's all these other karma. Like, you do all this karma shit, so who's overseeing karma? Saying you were bad and you were good. That shit don't exist. Right. We so need somebody to oversee us that is insane. We haven't, see, I teach how to get rid of the mind control of that. Because you can say you over Jesus, but I can show you Jesus hanging out. Constantly. Some shit was revealed to me too. Remember Morgan. Yeah, like it. Big revealing. But I want to tell you about this shit so we have an understanding of how this thing happened. Okay. So, Bobby gets a hold of this book, and first thing you see in this book when you get it is a bunch of shit you supposed to do for the Naganga. Which is, see that pot right there that she's standing in? Yeah. They call it the Naganga because, you know, it sounds better than pop. The Naganga. The Naganga. So, this is what they tell you to do in this book. You're going to get to items necessary. 1 large iron cauldron. That's the pot. Denaganga. Holy. On front. Huh? Yeah, that's right here on the front. See, palo means sticks. Tall sticks or some shit like that. Yeah, sticks. So it's really the religion of the sticks. You know what I'm saying? I got some Palo Sancho. But I have a bunch of the Palo sticks in my garage. Fuck up. So you want to play power? Let's play power. I'll put my fucking sticks down. And then we'll just have a real drum. So this is what you need. Holy water from a Catholic church, 8 large pure tobacco cigars, 1 large bottle of rum, 1 Palo Amargo. Now some of this shit I'm gonna definitely fuck up. Actually I'm not gonna say all that. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 different hollow sticks. of these. That's before the party is started. To put in the game. This is all you need. Okay. Where you get them, it took me a lot to hunt these shits down.
Oh, you actually did?
Oh, no. But I wanted to hunt them down because they also explain how to fuck up these and rituals. So I got them for that. The pot, see, we understand what does it represent? Subconscious mind. So we know the science of this. So when they're giving out these ingredients, once you use these ingredients, right? Once you do all of that, you're gonna feel you got something. And you tell me with your common sense, does this sound like you need all of this, or you need to do all of this? See, because if you did all of this, ain't nobody can tell you shit. Watch. I want to show you how.
Same principle of initiation.
It is. It is. That's what all this shit is. The babalaos or the shamans of these cultural groups who knew the secret science, and they knew the people was losing it. So they had to dish out like church before church. Dances and rituals and ceremonies and traditions and processions and all this bullshit, ceremonial magic and initiations to say, this is how we do it. So your psyche is, once you're doing all that, you're doing the right thing. This was the beginning result of what we have today as religion. Because this tradition gave way to what we call superstition. If I don't do that, the crops won't grow. If I don't do that, Oshun's gonna curse me if I don't do that. So all of these things backfired that they told you to do. Yeah, just do that, Oshun will come. Look in the mirror 3 times, comb your hair, give her some roses, she'll come. And you're thinking, I did everything right. And then the energy comes, but it's really you who's attracting the energy. You only were able to attract it because you thought you did the right thing. You're really fooling your own mind. Or they're really fooling you to fool yourself. Because they can't bring it down for you, and there's no one in the sky named Oshun give it to you. You are magnetizing the energy. And the sacrifice is you gotta give something to get something. Like in anything. You're not just gonna give me nothing for free. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna offer you this, you came over, of course if you coming over to do this, of course you're gonna be able to get some butterfingers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be sitting there, no. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what? Hot ass room for fucking already 2 hours, 1 hour and 40 minutes, nigga, and I can't get a butterfinger, nigga? A sticky bun or nothing? No, you know that. Give the gifts, and you know we're gonna get something to eat, and you always know it's something. Because I know you here when you come for the radio show. You drive all the way across town to be here when you can do it at home. Oh, we're going to get something. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be on me. It's got to. That's
good luck.
My octograph, my yacht. But that's how it does. That's the same principle. You know what I'm saying? That's why you would give, because what you put in, you get out. It's just an exchange.
And but that delineation, though, is the light that, for lack of other words, the old level of consciousness misses. In the sense of the fact that you're fooling your own mind.
Well, I would choose the word wisely. I wouldn't say they missed it. They lost it back then. You understand? So, but it was still retained within some shamanistic levels of the group, then turned babalaos. You understand? Or what we call babalaos. So, certain niggas had the information. So they said, I have the information, but we can no longer, we're in a place now, in a paradigm, where we can't teach it direct or initiate them into what I know. You understand? We can't make more shamans, but we can make initiates and followers, and that's better than nothing. You get what I'm saying? So they started telling them rituals and things you must do for Oshun to come, and don't stray from that path. So if they take this shit serious, if you took something serious, you know you're gonna handle it with care. You've been building this goddamn thing for 3 years, and I'm sitting there going, what is this? You're going, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Or your car. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking with a cart. You're gonna be like, whoa, slow down, player. You know what I'm saying? because certain things you need to handle with care. So the more valuable you feel what you have done is, the more you're able to take seriously and magnetize the energy without flaw. If I did everything right, I should get that. So you can't, if you don't stray from that path and do everything right, then your mind starts wandering, because remember, it's not the ritual that's working, it's your mind that's working. The ritual gets you lined up, your mind lined up. So if it doesn't happen because of whatever flaw you had in your thinking, that tradition gave in to superstition. Oh, Oshun is mad at me, that's why she didn't come this time. I gotta do twice as much. I gotta do this now. She's mad at me, I gotta do this. I can't do this, I can't drink, I can't go, I got. We're superstitious now. I seen a whole African show where niggas get hit in the head. The deity needs blood. Oh shit! Then he's like, oh, you think I will catch many fishes? Like, this is real shit now. Real shit now. You know what I'm saying? I said, these niggas gone lost their mind. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't think they're not experiencing magic now. Real incredible shit. Because it's still our minds. They're still black people, and they still have a belief in what it is they're doing, and the shamans got them lined up, and the Babalawos got them lined up right to bring down the energy. Now, don't get me wrong, they got ancient practices, so that's why some of them get there, see it, and be like, this is real, because they still have a lot of traditional ceremonial razzle-dazzle left. You understand what I'm saying? But not that one-on-one personal experience. What did you do with Oshun? Nigga, I got some pussy. What did you do with Oshun? She allowed me to comb her hair. That's the difference. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a personal understanding relationship. It's this God-human relationship. You understand? So now, after superstition kicks in, that gave in to religion. We were primed and prepped for religion. Good and bad, evil and good, and God and the devil. We were primed for it. Don't do this, because we were already at a behavioral system.
Prime and prep for mind.
Prime and prep with a behavioral system. We now used our spirituality to behave a certain way to get booms or to make amends to invisible motherfuckers in this world. And yes, as you just said, first of all, the mind control was already there. Because you're under mind control in the tradition. Even before you get to the deities and the shamans and all of this shit, see, we got this raise up your high shit for Africa, but we need to realize all that should be raised up is later day Africa. You understand what I'm saying? When they were already under mind control. To be in a culture, to get up, wake up, and somebody said, you must get the water. Why? Because you're a boy. You must do this. This is your duty. This is your duty. This is your duty. Now, the duty thing came from because it was to shut down the ego. Because American, you can go to Walmart from one end of the aisle to another end of the aisle, nothing but different items. That'll make you go crazy. That's because we're egomaniacs with just choices. So you hear people from the old worlds, I have to do it. Why? It's my duty. Or arranged marriage. Because in their mind, one woman was just as good as the same woman, because they were all cookie cutter clones. They were raised the same, washed the same, taught the same moral system, prayed the same, slept the same, ate the same, had the same hopes and aspirations, called on the same ancestors, married her. Why not? Get it? And then this shut down the ego as well. No choice. I like that bitch, but not that bitch. That bitch. Why? She does her duties. I like what you like. Whatever you like. Fuck that, you know. That's what all that is. Now, so it was already mind control. But they said, we no longer can tell you what your mind is. So we're going to give you tricks that make your mind work. Mind control. I'm going to say, look, I'm not going to tell you how to go home and do a money ritual. But I'm going to say, if you get a great candle, if you light it on Tuesday, you rub it from base top towards middle. This is bringing it towards you. How you do it? You squeeze your hands in. You get what I'm saying? Blowing it 3 times. Tap that candle to wake up the energy. Odin. Esther. You know what I'm saying? You light that candle. Sunday, you smother that candle. Light it again. You say, may this light ever reflect in the astral world and I abundance come true. After you hear all of that from someone who you think is extremely credible, it's really you who's doing it. It's really you who's lining your thoughts up with it, and you're saying, I know I did this thing right. So my conscious is out the way. My consciousness shit going, yeah. Everybody wants $1 million. Nobody has it. Because your conscious mind is simply going, no, stay the same. Stay the same. Don't change. You don't need to change. You are who you are. You can pretend you're changing, but you are who you are. So now you was in church and you this guy. So now you said, oh, I found these Orisha motherfuckers and they the bomb. I'm wearing all white now. But you're doing the same thing. You haven't changed. The names and the identities have changed. You understand? But you're the same motherfucker. You pretend you want to change, but you haven't changed. You understand what I'm saying? So for minds, we could not no longer grasp the idea, hey, buddy, is your mind right? I see, me today, I would say to you, you're asking for prosperity. I'm looking for prosperity. And you don't never have to ask for it again. That's a whole different animal. See, we play with big shit. I'm not going to sit around and ask Lachlan for prosperity. I am Lachlan. All of these motherfuckers come from your mind. You birthed these motherfuckers. They saying all that shit on American Gods too. They said, are the gods real because you believe in them, or I can't remember how you word it. I'm gonna have a spoiler in this because I've been talking about the last episode. But you get this spoiler. Okay, it's an ill spoiler. They saved all the goodies. They opened up with some real goodies, and they walked you through a whole bullshit book, and then they set you up for the next season. It's some goodies. You know what I'm saying? The face off. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna talk about. But now, where was we at? So this is for the people who didn't have the ability to figure it out no more themselves. This was the decline of people. So it was this form of, in part, mind control to tell them how to live in abundance, that they have to appease these gods now. It became God appeasement instead of working with the energy. You understand? So it was always a slip. We was slipping neck before a white man showed up. He was prepped and ready to accept that bullshit, just with more of a beating, with a beating and with some more trauma. See, we were already primed through initiation to learn through that trauma. It was ass whippings, cuttings, tattoos, deprivation of shit, and so now you're initiated. So now white men put you in a cage, put you in chains, beat you and say, learn this book. Same system of initiation. Beating your ass. You understand what I'm saying? You stuck, this shit is programmed in. That's in the human DNA. You understand what I'm saying? And it taps with a lot of spirituality because they use the same motifs as our mythology. So we need to understand that word motif more. But I said it's the pattern that is stuck in us. So that same, we do have in our cosmic spiritual DNA, the pattern of mythology. That's why you can get a Christian and you never hear a Christian say, ain't no such thing as the spirit. Niggas still will recognize spirit. Ooh, something's in here, let's go. Something don't feel right. And they could be the Christianest motherfucker in the world. They ain't saying Jesus or the devil. They saying, ooh, something in here.